Hi, everyone, and welcome to our podcast, Real Life English Conversations. I'm Linda.
And I'm Leo. We're so happy you're here with us. Today, we're going to talk about why learning real-life English conversations is important. This is part one of our three-part series. So, Linda, why do you think real-life conversations are so important?
Great question, Leo. Real-life conversations are the key to communicating with people in everyday situations. When we study English in a classroom, we learn grammar, vocabulary, and structure. But in real-life conversations, things can be a little different.
Exactly. In real life, people speak in a way that can be different from what's in textbooks. They use different words, phrases, and sometimes even sounds to express themselves. Like, you might read hello, how are you? In a textbook, but in real life, someone might say, hey, how's it going?
Yes, and that's why we want to help you learn these kinds of conversations. We want you to feel comfortable talking to people in stores, at work, at school, or just with friends. Real-life conversations give you the confidence to speak English without worrying too much about mistakes.
And making mistakes is part of learning, right? So, what are some ways real-life conversations help learners, Linda?
Well, one way is they teach you expressions. Expressions are short phrases that native speakers use all the time, like what's up? Or that's awesome. These phrases help you sound more natural when you speak English.
Right. And not just phrases, but also small talk. Small talk is when people talk about simple, everyday things, like the weather, hobbies, or what they did last weekend. Practicing small talk helps you connect with others and break the ice.
Exactly, Leo. Let's give an example. Imagine you meet a new person. In real life, they might say, hey, nice to meet you. So, what do you do? Here, what do you do? Means they're asking about your job or studies. But in a textbook, you might just learn to ask, what is your job?
Yes, that's a great example. In real-life conversations, we often shorten sentences and make them easier, and we also add intonation, or the rise and fall in our voices to show our feelings. For example, if I say, wow, really? I'm showing I'm surprised. But if I say, wow, really? It might mean I don't believe what you're saying.
Yes, that's so true. Intonation makes a big difference. And real-life conversations teach you this naturally. You start to pick up on these little sounds and changes in the voice that make English feel more alive.
Let's talk about another part of real-life conversations, Linda. Listening skills. When you practice real-life conversations, you start to get used to hearing English at a normal speed. In movies, TV shows, and real life, people speak quickly, and sometimes they don't say every word clearly.
Yes, and that's normal. Sometimes people say things like gonna instead of going to or wanna instead of want to. These are called contractions, and they happen a lot in English. Practicing listening to real conversations can help you understand them better.
That's a good point. And let's not forget about body language. In real-life English, people use their hands, eyes, and even facial expressions to show how they feel. When you're talking to someone, you can see if they're happy, excited, or even a bit bored.
Body language is important, and learning it can help you feel more connected when you're talking to people. You don't get to learn this in a book, but when you practice with real people or watch people speak, you can pick it up.
And that brings us to one last important thing about real-life conversations: confidence. When you practice speaking in real-life situations, even if it's just ordering coffee or asking for directions, you start to feel more comfortable. You get over the fear of speaking in a new language.
Absolutely, confidence is everything. It's okay to make mistakes. Native speakers understand that you're learning, and they usually appreciate the effort. So don't worry about being perfect. Just focus on communicating.
So true, Linda. Learning English isn't just about knowing the words, it's about using them in real life. That's why we're here, to help you understand these real-life conversations.
In our next part, we're going to dive into some real conversations for different situations. Like meeting new friends, asking for help, or even talking about your hobbies.
Yes, that'll be fun. We'll break down each conversation and explain why people say certain things in certain ways. We'll also teach you some key phrases to remember, so stay tuned.
Yes, Leo, making friends is one of the best ways to practice English. But we know it can be a little scary to start talking to someone new, especially in a different language. So today, we're here to help you feel more comfortable and confident.
That's right, Linda. We'll go over some easy ways to start a conversation and keep it going. So, Linda, what's one way to start a friendly conversation in English?
Well, a really simple way is to give a compliment. People like it when you say something nice to them. For example, you can say, "I like your shirt," or "You have a nice smile." It's an easy way to make someone feel happy and open up to you.
Exactly. Compliments work well because they make the other person feel good. And usually they'll say thank you or start talking about the thing you complimented. This is a good way to begin a friendly chat.
Another way to start a conversation is to ask a simple question. For example, if you're at a party, you can say, "Do you know anyone here?" or "How do you know the host?" This kind of question is casual, and it makes people feel comfortable answering.
Yes, asking questions is a great way to start talking. And if you're in a cafe or a park, you could ask something like, "Do you come here often?" Or "What do you like about this place?" These questions are friendly and don't make the other person feel uncomfortable.
And remember, when you ask questions, try to show interest in what they say. People like to feel that you're really listening to them. You can nod, smile, or even say "really" or "wow, that's interesting" to show that you care about what they're saying.
Good point, Linda. And after you start the conversation, you might want to share a little bit about yourself too. That way, it's not just questions. For example, if you asked, "Do you come here often?" and they say, "Yes, I come here every weekend," you could reply, "Oh, I just moved here, so I'm exploring new places."
Exactly. Sharing something about yourself makes the conversation feel balanced and friendly. It's like you're both getting to know each other.
Let's go through a quick example, Linda. Imagine you're at a friend's party and you see someone you don't know. How would you start?
All right, I would say something like, "Hi, I don't think we've met before. I'm Linda." This is a friendly introduction, and it lets the person know I'm interested in talking.
That's a good start. And then, maybe they say, "Hi Linda, I'm Sam, what would you say next?"
I could ask, "So, how do you know the host?" This is an easy question that helps the conversation keep going.
Perfect. And then maybe Sam says, "Oh, I went to college with him." You could follow up with, "Oh really? That's cool. What did you study in college?"
Exactly, Leo. And by asking about their college or studies, I'm giving them a chance to talk more about themselves. This helps the conversation flow naturally.
Right. And conversations are like that. Each question and answer leads to something else. Let's go over some other phrases our listeners can use to keep a conversation going.
Good idea. Here are a few phrases to remember, everyone. If someone says something interesting, you can reply with, "That's amazing. Tell me more." "Oh, really? How was that? Wow, I've never heard of that before."
Yes, and if you want to change the topic, you can say something like, "By the way, have you heard about?" "Oh, that reminds me of." "Speaking of that, what do you think about?"
These phrases make the conversation feel smooth. People feel comfortable when they talk to someone who can keep the conversation going and who listens well.
And here's one more tip. Try to use their name sometimes. Like, if you're talking to Sam, you can say, "So, Sam, what do you like to do on weekends?" Using someone's name makes the conversation feel more personal.
Yes, using names helps you connect better. It makes the other person feel special and noticed.
So, let's summarize what we've learned today. When you want to start a conversation, you can. 1. Give a compliment like, "I like your shirt." 2. Ask a simple question like, "How do you know the host?" 3. Share something about yourself like, "I just moved here."
And to keep the conversation going, remember to 1. Show interest by nodding, smiling, or saying "really." 2. Use phrases to keep it going like "Tell me more." 3. Use their name to make it feel personal.
That's right. So next time you're at a social event or just out somewhere, try starting a conversation with someone. It might feel strange at first, but with practice, it gets easier.
Yes, don't be afraid to try. Real-life English is all about connecting with others. And remember, everyone makes mistakes, so don't worry about being perfect. Just be friendly and have fun.
In our next part, we'll go over more specific situations, like ordering food at a restaurant or asking for help in a store. These are very common, and you'll get to learn key phrases for each situation.
Thanks for listening today. We hope you found these tips helpful. Remember to keep practicing and don't be afraid to start conversations in English. You're doing great.
Yes, keep it up. And we'll see you next time for more real-life English. Bye for now.
Hi again, everyone. Welcome back to Real Life English Conversations. I'm Linda.
And I'm Leo. Today, we're bringing you the final part of our three-part series. This time, we're diving into specific situations you might find yourself in, like ordering food at a restaurant or asking for help in a store.
Right, these are things we all do in daily life, and we want to help you feel comfortable speaking English in these situations. So, let's start with ordering food at a restaurant. This is something we all do, but it can be a little nerve-wracking if you're not used to it.
Exactly. But don't worry, we'll guide you through it step by step. Let's start with a simple conversation. Linda, let's pretend you're ordering food, and I'll be the server. Ready? Hi. Welcome to Sunny Caf. Are you ready to order?
Hi, yes. I'd like a cheeseburger with fries, please.
Sure. Would you like anything to drink?
Yes, I'll have a lemonade, please.
Great. I'll bring that right out for you.
See, it's pretty simple. Let's break down this conversation. I started with, I'd like a cheeseburger with fries, please. Saying I'd like is a polite way to order something. You could also say, can I have, or I'll have.
Yes, I'd like, and I'll have, are both polite and natural ways to order. And if you want something extra, like adding cheese or a side dish, you could say, could I add cheese to that? Or can I get a side salad with that?
Right, and then, when Leah asked me about drinks, I said, I'll have a lemonade, please. Adding please at the end makes it more polite. It's always good to use please and thank you when you're ordering.
Definitely. And here's a good tip: if you don't understand something, don't be afraid to ask. You can say, could you repeat that please? Or what's in that dish? Most servers are happy to explain.
Yes, that's a great tip. All right, let's move on to another situation: asking for help in a store. Imagine you're shopping and you're looking for a specific item, like toothpaste. How would you ask for help, Leo?
It's simple. I could say, excuse me, could you help me find the toothpaste? Or where can I find the toothpaste? Both are polite ways to ask.
Exactly. Excuse me is a very polite way to get someone's attention. You can use it whenever you need help. And after the person helps you, don't forget to say thank you. It's a small thing, but it's polite and makes a good impression.
That's true. Let's give another example. If you're in a big store and looking for the bathroom, you can say, excuse me, where is the bathroom? Or can you tell me where the restroom is?
Yes, and in stores, people sometimes say restroom instead of bathroom. Both words mean the same thing, so you can use either one.
And if the store is out of something you want, you can ask, do you have any more of this? Or is this item available? This way, the staff can help you find it or tell you when it might be back in stock.
All right, let's move to another useful situation: asking for directions. Imagine you're in a new city and you need help finding the train station. Leo, how would you ask?
I'd say, excuse me, could you tell me how to get to the train station? Or can you show me the way to the train station? These are polite and clear ways to ask.
Yes, and sometimes people might give simple directions, like go straight, turn left, or turn right. It's helpful to know these words, so you can follow their directions.
Definitely. Another phrase to know is, how far is it? For example, you can ask, how far is it to the train station? This way, you know if it's close enough to walk or if you need a taxi.
And if you get confused, it's okay to ask again. You can say, sorry, could you say that again? Or could you repeat the directions, please? People are usually happy to help.
Now let's talk about one more situation: making small talk. Small talk is a friendly way to start a conversation with someone you don't know very well. It's common in places like elevators, buses, or even at work.
That's true, Leo. Small talk topics are usually light and simple, like the weather, hobbies, or the weekend. For example, you could say, "Nice weather today, isn't it?" Or "Do you have any plans for the weekend?"
Yes, small talk is a great way to connect with people and feel more comfortable in English. And you don't have to say anything too serious. Just keep it friendly and easy.
Exactly. Another example is, if you're waiting for something, like a bus, you could say, "It's taking a long time today, isn't it?" Or "Do you take this bus often?" It's a nice way to start a chat without getting too personal.
Yes, and remember to smile. Smiling makes small talk feel friendly and welcoming. And don't worry if the conversation is short. Small talk doesn't have to be long, it's just a way to be friendly.
So today we covered some really useful phrases for real-life situations: ordering food, asking for help in a store, asking for directions, and making small talk.
Yes, and we hope you found these examples helpful. Real-life English is all about feeling comfortable in different situations, and practicing these phrases can make a big difference.
Absolutely. Remember, it's okay to feel nervous at first, but the more you practice, the easier it gets. Just take your time, be polite, and don't be afraid to ask questions.
And don't worry about making mistakes. Mistakes are part of learning. People usually understand if English isn't your first language, and they appreciate that you're trying.
Yes, so thank you for joining us in this series on real-life English conversations. We hope these tips help you feel more confident and ready to speak English in everyday life.
Keep practicing, and remember, every little conversation helps you improve. Thanks for listening, and see you next time.